feels empty now. The pain builds up inside. I tried so many times to imagine that you're here. Pretend you're coming back, pretend that you're still near, but it's no use now. You've moved on, but just remember this: you got a piece of my heart. So please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. Another lonely day, another sleepless night. I wonder what you're feeling and who's now by your side. I wish I could have changed the way the story goes. Rewrite my life with you and whisper one more time, amore mio, ti amo. 'Cause it's not easy to move on while I'm still so lost in you. You've got a piece of my heart, so please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. This heart of mine belongs to you. You're so deep inside my soul. When two hearts beat as one, don't ever let go. Baby, just remember this: so my heart. Remember my love. We both cried. And it's a separate each day. I remember each day. One day you return with my hands someday. So please remember me, my love. Never wash away those tears we both cried. So never wash away those tears each day of my life. One day you return, you stay in my life. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Hello everybody, Giada Valenti here in Las Vegas. Here comes the sun, and the sun is always here in Las Vegas. You know, we've been doing this since March 18, and there's no been one day that I started the show telling you today is raining, right? So sunny, shiny, temperature still high in 110 Fahrenheit, 45 per voi che ci gradi centigradi per voi che ci guardate dall'Italia. It's 2 p.m. here in Las Vegas, 5 p.m. for you guys watching on the East Coast, like my guest of today. I think she's on the East Coast. And of course, Central Time, 1 hour behind. Ore 23 per voi che ci guardate dall'Italia, dalla Francia, England 22, Ireland, I see you there appearing. And good morning, Australia. I see some people, Australian people over there. We have people from Wales. We have people from all over the world. Last week, actually, we had people from Russia. We had people from Bangladesh. We had people from South America, South Africa, Uruguay. So, guys, you are from... This is the good things about this kind of live streaming, that you guys can just hear, push the button, and here you are with me. Giada Valenti in Las Vegas. For the one of you that are tuning in for the first... I even see Randolph Duke. Randolph Duke was one of my guests. He's an amazing designer. Of course, he dressed Barbara Streisand. He dressed me too, but he dressed Barbara... I wonder if he also has dressed my guest of today. Randolph, how are you doing there in Rhode Island? And so, guys... I'm so excited about today for many, many reasons. I love the guest. You know, I've been bragging about her for so many times. Being a singer and a songwriter myself, for the one of you that don't know, I'm a singer and songwriter born and raised in Las Vegas. She's just like the star, the queen, like somebody you're like, oh my gosh. So I want to welcome all the new people that I see appearing there. Probably they're here because of my guest. So I was born and raised in Venice, Italy. Of course, a few questions today about, for my guest will be if she's ever been to my Venice, if she's ever been to Italy. I love to cook. You know, we have been done this Giada Life for 100 days every day. And now I gave myself a little kind of a break. And since 2 months, we are going on 3 times a week. Tuesday with my guest interview. Thursday, I do the Italian culture and lifestyle together with my friends of Italian Living. Every Thursday, we travel to Italy together, virtual travel. And then on Saturday, I cook for you. We do sign language. So on Saturday, I am a chef and I cook for you Italian recipe. And on Sunday, of course, you were requesting for me to sing. So Sunday, we always do the Love Song Sundays on my Patreon. And I invite you all to be there. Well, talk enough about all these things happening because today is an amazing day. Here comes the sun. Here comes my guest today. She is a sun. She's the queen of sunshine. Let me brag a little bit about you. You know, I always prepare this little video, so let me do like, it's just like a short things of what she has done, and then we're gonna have her in a nice conversation. Are you guys together? I see you all are. I even see Cecilia East, Nathan's sister. Here we go. Here we go. My guest today. My guest today is, to say the less, a music icon, Darlene Love. She has been named among Rolling Stone's top 100 singers of all time, and in 2011, she was inducted into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted by the one and only, dear friend of her, by the way, Bette Midler and Bruce Springsteen. We adore them all. She has received a Grammy and also an Academy Award on behalf of the Oscar-winning team of 25th for Stardom, where she gave an unforgettable gospel performance as an acceptance speech. It was a beautiful moment. Darlene started his career at 16 when she joins the Blossoms, and their life will change. She was a backup singer for so many famous people: Sam Cooke, Bobby Darin, Marvin Gaye, Aretha Franklin, Dionne Warwick, Beach Boys, Sonny and Cher, the Rolling Stones, and after a spell as a regular on the ABC TV variety show Shindig in the early 60s, Darlene and the Blossoms went on to sing backup on a variety of Elvis Presley recordings and televisions, and they even backed up Tom Jones during Las Vegas shows, I've been informed. The smash hit song was Is a Rebel single, originally credited by producer Phil Spector to another singing group, The Crystals, and went on to sell over 3 million copies. She later went on to record many, many other songs without being accredited. One of I Love is Sure's The Boy I Love. Went also to the Sherelle. But it's Darlene. The first single featured Darlene as an artist was in 1963 with a real name, Today I Met the Boy I'm Gonna Marry. But we have heard her voice in many, many records. Be My Baby of the Ronettes, You Lost the Loving Feeling of the Writers Brothers, to mention just a few. After she left the Blossom, she continued as a backup singer until the late 70s, when she took a break. She went to a couple of rough paths, and it was on a moment where she was rock bottom of her life that it was like serendipity moment when she heard on the radio, Christmas Baby, Please Come Home, and brought her back to where she belonged, the limelight. She became the favorite singer of him. There we see David Letterman. She sang that song every Christmas for so many years. Then she was part of the 25th for Stardom, and she finally was back where she belonged, the star, the spotlight. Well, David Letterman is not there anymore, and now we can see her every Christmas on The View, hopefully also this year. She's also a super accomplished actress in some of my favorite movies, the sequel of Lethal Weapon, and of course Home Alone. Every Christmas I wait for that Christmas to see that one. She's successful in any kind of stage she puts fit, like Broadway, and she also has a movie we'll be talking about on Netflix, Holiday Rush. She has a book, I know many of you already bought it, My Name is Love. And she also has an album, Introducing Darlene Love, produced and arranged by Steve Van Zandt, Introducing Darlene. We all love her and love her for so many years. During COVID-19, she has done some virtual benefit events. She has family set for dogs, cats, children, for everybody. And she cheered up everybody on social media because she loves her fans. Well, Darlene Love, it's her name, a name that is so perfect for this amazing human being. And I got to meet her twice, and to be around her, not only her voice on stage, but to hear her talk about love, gratitude, and faith when she speaks is just a great, great emotions and a blessing. I'm so beyond happy, and I feel myself blessed to say I have today with us the one and only Darlene Love. Darlene, are you there?
I am here. I am here. This is so exciting to be with you.
You have no idea how I'm excited I am to be with you. How are you doing, my dear Darlene?
I am doing fine. It's 91 degrees outside here in New York and very humid. It's like Las Vegas.
Actually, I lived in New York City for 11 years. Actually, let's start. You are one of those girls, let's say, that moved actually from west, you went east at a certain point, and you don't want to come back. I asked you before, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't want to come back to us. But Darlene, can we start? I mean, we know everything because I've read your book. I've seen the 25th from Stardom. But for the people that are curious, can you tell us a little bit how was your early years when you were the daughter of a preacher?
Yes, a minister. Yes.
A minister.
He had his own church. He was a pastor, had his own church. And I have 4 siblings, three brothers and a sister. And we all grew up in church, Pentecostal church, which means you're holier than thou. You know, we couldn't go to movies, we couldn't go to dances, we couldn't wear makeup. God help us.
So,
but things change. This is 2020. Things have really changed.
I know, but hopefully faith is still something that is in faith. But that has changed. But how did you? Your father must have been a very special minister because he let you listen to non-gospel music. How did that happen?
Well, he was. You know, he wasn't one of those. You're going to hell if you do this. You're not, you know what I'm saying? He was really a wise man. I think that's why I really loved him. He allowed me to go and sing secular songs. My father wasn't the problem. It was his members that were the problem. I did that television show in 1964 called Shindig, and they would call my father up and say, I can't believe you let her sing that music. I think it's a disgrace to the church. But then my father said to them, well, why are you watching it?
Good answer.
So you can watch it, but you can't do it. So, you know, I had a very wise father. He was impressed. Back in those days, we were very well chaperoned, you know, and my parents knew the singers that I worked with. They knew their parents. And so we were all like a big family. So, you know, it was a lot of innocent things back in those days, you know, but I grew up in the business, so I didn't go into the pitfalls that a lot of people, you know, end up going into because I know.
Yeah.
But growing up as a PK, that's what they called us. A PK was a preacher's kid.
Oh,
That's what they call ministers' children. They call them a PK. And we actually went from California to Texas to live for 5 years when they moved my father to a church there. So I actually grew up in a world of segregation while I lived in Texas. So I know all the ins and outs about that because in California it was very different for us. It wasn't like you were really segregated. We went to schools with white children. We had white teachers. Well, in Texas, we had all black students and all black teachers. The principal, everybody was black, you know. And I thought that was awfully weird at 10 years of age, you know, what's going on here? But the first time it happened, really and truly, we took a train to Texas. The whole family went on a train. And when we got halfway into the South, they stopped the train and people were getting on, and they moved us from the front of the train to the back of the train.
Oh.
Which was very weird for me. Like, well, why are we moving? Where are we going?
Exactly.
So that was my first, the time I'd actually felt what separation was from white people. And we did not get along together. And although in Texas it wasn't as bad because it was a lot of Spanish people in Texas. So it wasn't as bad. But you know, we had the fountains that said colored and white. We had to go in the back doors to movie theaters. We had to ride in the back of the bus. You know, we went through all of that. And by the time we came back to California, I was in high school. So we just picked up from where I left off from high school with my brothers and my sisters. And life wasn't that rough, you know. Life only gets rough when you get older, when you become an adult, when you think you are an adult. Things get, you know, but life growing up, I'm thankful for my father and my mother every day because they did teach us values of life. And the one thing, like you were saying before, the most important thing to me right now is my faith.
It's true.
My faith takes care of me. It keeps me because I have 3 sons and I have 8 grandsons.
Oh, well, bless them all.
My children were busy.
Hey.
So, you know, I pray and I have a lot of faith for the keeping power of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Because I think that's the biggest thing we can do right now is just keep our faith. That keeps us together, keep us on the right track, and keep us from disliking people. I really can say today I don't hate anybody. You know, I might dislike them or dislike the things they do, but I don't hate them. So, you know, it's my faith that has really
I heard in an
carried
interview
me.
you said, I don't hate anybody because they give me lines. That's why you're still so beautiful. Because you don't hate anybody. So no lines for Darlene Love. She doesn't have space for hate because it lines your face. I wanted to ask you something. You talk about faith and love. And as I said, I met you a few times and I've been watching you in all your interviews you do. You always talk about your faith and the blessing, like your parents and what they give it to you. I always said, I have the same. I've been blessed by my faith, by my parents. Would you say, Darlene, that it's been that helped you through? You had a rough time. You're one of the greatest singers out there with an amazing career, but you went from very high to very low. Would you say it was your faith and your family that kept you grounded and kept you strong?
I know it was. It was them that gave me the faith to believe it's not going to always be this way. Things change. And when you're in it, it doesn't seem like. But you can only get so low that the only other way is to go up. You know, and my faith in God is the thing that kept me going spiritually, you know, because when you go down, you start having trouble everywhere. Trouble with your children getting in trouble. It just seems everything happens at the same time. So if I had faith, I probably wouldn't be here today if I didn't have faith, because I went through bad marriage. I mean, that's like what I said, you know, when it happens, when it rains, as they say, it pours.
Darlene, can you guide us through the moment that how did you create the Blossom? When did you meet the girls? Was it created by somebody or you girls were friends?
The Blossoms was already a group, and my father, before he got his church, let us go to another church where my girlfriends were all going. And there was a young people's, what they call a young people's choir at this church. At that time, it was a large Baptist church. And so everybody belonged to that church because they had such great music. And I started singing in the choir. And one of the girls in the choir actually was getting married and asked me to sing at her wedding. Did not know that the girls in the wedding party were 2 of the Blossoms. And they asked me if I would sing secular music. And would I audition for their group? And I said, oh, why not? 16 years old, what the heck? And I did, I auditioned, and not only did I become a member of the group, I became the lead singer of the group. So that was in 1957, and my career just took off. We took off, the Blossoms did, as background singers, and we didn't even realize at the time we were the first black background singers that
Oh,
were recording records.
really?
It was
Before that, they
it
were
was
all white?
it was all white, and we called them readers because they could read music. The Blossoms more or less sight read, but we could hear real good, and our ears kept us working.
You
So
know,
that's how I ended up being with the Blossoms. And, it started off as I'm this young kid, 16, my last year in high school. So I'm not thinking about really being a singer at that time because, honey, everything you did in church, you did not get paid. It was for the Lord.
yeah, no.
So I never really thought about you could actually make money at that time being a singer, until I got with the Blossoms and we started. And we had to join the union, which was great, AFTRA. You know about AFTRA.
Yeah.
So we all had to be a part of AFTRA, and things really just started working out great. And I know it was because of the work I did in church. Because when you sing with a choir, you have to learn harmony. You have to learn your part. And plus, when I was in school, they still had glee club, a cappella choirs, and those kind of things while we were in school. So that really did help build my foundation. I didn't know it at the time because I wanted to be a gospel singer. Because one of my favorite singers back in those days was Mahalia Jackson.
Oh,
And I
wow.
just loved her and I adored her. And I said, ooh, I'm going to sing like Mahalia. And it just started from there, which was a wonderful thing. Like I said, we would go back and forth to Hollywood. That's where our manager was at the time.
Yeah.
And we would do sessions. And the sessions just, oh, do you guys do sessions for everyone? And we said, sure, you got the money, we'll do your sessions. And believe me, I think we sung for everybody, could hold a tune, could not hold a tune.
Okay, I have to ask you something because I mean there've been movies there you talk about it, and I know you must be sick and tired. Do you remember though the first time you were introduced to Phil Spector? Was he crazy since the beginning? Did you like it? What kind of person was he?
Well, he wasn't crazy when I first met him. You have to realize, when I joined Phil Spector, he had his first hit record, He's a Rebel, and I was the singer.
I know.
So he was on his way to being where he ended up. But when I first met him, he was a lot of fun. He joked a lot in sessions. We laughed at him the way he looked because he was always dressed up in a suit. You don't go to sessions dressed up. He used to wear them high heels that the Beatles used to wear.
Oh gosh.
Phil was about 5'2", 5'3". So with the heels on, I think he was about 5'4", 5'5". He was little. So he had a little man complex. But I would always tease him. And I was probably the only person that did it. And I just did it in fun. And me and Phil used to go out to dinner. He'd come on, go to lunch with me. So we had a wonderful relationship. It wasn't until much later after he had the success with the Righteous Brothers and with the Ronettes and the Crystals too, because the Crystals had 2 #1 records. And then he started thinking he was God, which is only one.
Yeah. We know the story. Darlene, you have sang backup vocals, by the way, which is unbelievable because I think you are a front lead singer, so I don't want to call you a backup singer, but you sang for so many people. You sang with one man that I think there is no woman, not even in 2020, is not in love with him still, Elvis Presley. Can you tell us how it was to meet Elvis Presley? I'm always like, the first time you met him, was he already Elvis? Was he already famous? How was it?
He was famous in his movies. He wasn't singing anymore because he went to Vegas and he didn't do so well back in the day. But so Colonel Parker was very smart. He made him a movie star. Although they could have gave him better roles, but he did what he could do with the roles they gave him. And with my gospel background, that's what clicked with Elvis and the Blossoms. Because he loved, as much as I do, he loved gospel music. And so do I. And he told me a story one time. I'll never forget Elvis. He said when he was growing up in the South, he used to go to black churches and listen to their music on Sunday nights, because we used to have Sunday night service, and hot in Texas or wherever we were, so they left the windows in the church open, and he said just stand outside and just listen to the music and talk, oh, how wonderful it was. So he took all that with him in the business also, just like I took that with me into the business. You don't really have to change. The only thing that changes about it is the lyrics change. Whether you're singing for God or you're singing secular songs, I said, then my father had that same attitude. There's nothing wrong with what she's doing. She still has faith in God. She still goes to church if she's home. You know what I'm saying? And Elvis was the same way. So we had a wonderful, wonderful relationship. We got to meet him. Usually the artist does not come to the sessions because they'll wait until it's all done, and then they'll come and put their voices on. But Elvis came to the session, and we were like, oh, he's coming in, you guys. There's Elvis. Elvis, guys, yes. We were so excited. We got a chance to meet. And the session was going so well. That was his 1968 comeback special. So it was going so well, so they put a gospel segment in that in his special, and he was the one that said, "I want the Blossoms in it," therefore, when he did the gospel part in his special, the Blossoms actually sung in it. And then after that, we actually did a movie with him, Change of Habit. So we had a really nice relationship, with Elvis. Elvis, the star, and his wonderful background singers, and they never called us. Like you said, they never really called us background singers. They used to just say, my singers, because we could sing with anybody. It was really even a joy. The last couple of sessions I had, even after I became a solo artist, was Luther Vandross and Aretha Franklin, because how can you go wrong singing background to them? And it was joy, and plus they were my friends. So those, but other than that, I still love singing background. It's just such a joy. You can create background, because that's what we did. We would create the sounds that we had.
I think the most of all, analyzing you, everything you do it with all your heart. You just love music, you love people, you love entertain people. That's what you are. You give your heart and soul. I remember I saw you in New Jersey performing that night. Before we met, Darlene, and I remember I was just like, this woman, you're like on fire really when you are on stage. You give your whole, which is beautiful. Which remind me of something. I've been asked so many times if I want to act in movie, and I'm always chicken up. I always said no, but you said yes. How was it to translate from singers to acting? How did it happen?
You know what? I didn't think I was an actor. I just, I'm a singer. So Dick Donner was the director of the Lethal Weapon series. And I was asked if I would be in a movie. And I went, sure, why not? Hey, why not? And then they said, well, you're going to be in with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson. And I went, really? So you're asking me? I don't have to audition. You're asking me. But what they wanted was a black woman for Danny's wife, who wasn't an actor that's in all the black movies. There's always this same 2 or 3 black women that they use, but they wanted it to be different. I was so scared. I said, child, I'm a singer. Now that I took the job, still, I'm a singer, not an actor. And Dick Donner would tell me, but you're just going to take from what you do on the stage to the movie screen. And just remember, now you don't have to talk as loud. You don't have to be as big, because now it's just a little bitty camera. So they had to really bring me down, when I first started, because I'm a singer and I'm used to projecting, but it was very easy. If you know the script, if you do your homework, if you do what you're supposed to do, when you get ready to do it, it'll be great. And it was fun, because I thought we would only do 1, and we ended up doing 4.
Which
I was blessed even with that.
And every year, they are all on Netflix, Darlene, and there is no one single year that I don't watch them again. Now with COVID-19, I'm even more in front of Netflix, so I'll be watching it again probably this weekend. Talking of which, if there is, your career, by the way, there is this amazing book that you wrote, is your love story, and you have to know, Darlene, that many of my fans I see also on the chat, they just adore you. When I mention your name, I mention your birthday, And then I said, oh, by the way, I met Darlene. Maybe she can be a good guest. And they started to bombard me. Yes, yes. So when we want Darlene. And actually, some of them already got prepared. They didn't know about the book, and some of them already bought the book. And there is a guy, Roger Scallion, here in Las Vegas. We love him. He's a musician. He's a celebrity in Vegas. And look, guess what I'm going to the mail today. I really am going to read some tonight to be prepared for tomorrow. So are you prepared, Roger? I mean, so they really love you. And everybody, Darlene, that gets to know you, they just kind of love you. So I have a question, though. Your career has been like a roller coaster. All careers are roller coaster, but yours has been really very high and low. If there is a young kid watching, what would you, and seeing like, oh, I want to be a boy or girl, I want to be like Darlene Love, what would you say, would you tell him? What would it be something that can guide them, the child, and help in this business?
You know, Giada, this business has changed so in the last 50 some odd years. And what has held me in this business was my faith and what I loved to do. I love my audiences. I love my fans. When I do my show, I leave whatever happened to me that day backstage in my dressing room, and I go out there and just focus on my fans. Tell them how much I love them, which I really do. And I tell them they're the greatest fans in the world, because you're the one who has kept me alive all these years, my fans. And I never hold back. And as God would have it, I've only been hoarse where I couldn't work one time in my life, because I also take care of my voice. When I'm working, I don't talk, I don't laugh, because I laugh loud, I talk loud. And when my husband picks me up from work, I go home. On the way home from work, I have a glass of wine. By the time he drives me home, I'm actually just about asleep. So that gives me that time to come down. So what I always tell when I talk to the kids at school and everything, make it be something you like and you love, and take care of who you are. Because it's, like you know, it's one of the hardest businesses you could ever be in. It has a lot of accolades. It's wonderful, everything that goes on with it. But it's still, you have to be true to yourself, true to what you believe. I won't let anybody change the way I sing and say, this is the way I sing, guys. My audience loves it, and that is what I'm going to do. You have to just want it, but you have to stick with it, because it's a lot of bumps in the road. Boy, and I've had my share of the bumps.
Oh, yeah.
But I've also had part of the good time, you know what? And I ended up being friends with some of the biggest stars in the world.
Yeah.
You know, on their level. They didn't look at me like a background singer. This is Darlene Love, and she, you know what I'm saying? That helps too when you have a great career and your stars love you, your peers love you. And that's almost as important as your fans, because your peers can help you later in life or get you over the humps or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that is my thing that I tell to all people want to know about this. But number one, it's hard.
Yeah.
There's a lot of downtime. If you audition, you might not get those parts.
It's true.
But you have to say the next one.
So passion and love. I know in your case, Darlene, is maybe you don't have even an answer for this question, but I have to ask you anyway, because you have sang, like you said, you are friends and you have worked with some of the greatest artists in the whole world. Me, one of the highlights of my career was to be asked to sing with Andrea Bocelli, and it was like a scary moment, beautiful moment. Now I call him a friend, and I'm like, I pinch myself. For you, Darlene, who have you performed with that you really were, you mentioned maybe Elvis, but would it be somebody else that you were like, just like you couldn't believe that you, Darlene Love, the simple young girl, son of a preacher man, you were singing with who?
Yeah, it was Elvis, but then it was also Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke came from the same kind of life I came from. He was a gospel singer, and they didn't want him to change over to secular music. And one thing about Sam, he believed in what he was doing, just like I did. That's why I said you have to have that belief. But working with Sam Cooke was something I never, in my wildest imagination, thought I'd ever work with. And he ended up being just the type of person I thought he would be. He was nice, he was considerate. And I went, are you kidding me? And the other person is just meeting and being around Bette Midler. She is a gem. Well, I mean, what you see is what you get. I would work and I'd see her sitting in the audience. She wouldn't tell anybody she was coming, no big fanfare. She would just show up to my shows and I go, ain't that bad? Yeah.
Betty.
And I loved her because of her work ethics. You know, those people that I just named them, they were workaholics, but it didn't get the best of them. You know what I'm saying? And they were true to what they believed, and that's what they did. Sam decided he wanted to sing secular music, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
You know, and Bet is, I mean, she's one of the funniest people I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I met her about almost 40 years ago, and she's exactly the same way she was when I met her.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. Darlene, I have to ask you something because I ask everybody. But I was born and raised in Italy. I am Italian. So have you ever been to Italy?
No, I haven't. I've been all over the world, but I haven't been there. But guess what? It's still time.
Darlene, Darlene, you have to go to Venice. I mean, I keep saying you have to go to my Venice. You're married, right?
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to Venice, Darlene, please let me know. I will have Venice put red carpets for you. You have to go there. You have to go to Italy. So, my question is to you, though. If you've never been to Italy, do you love Italian food?
Are you kidding me? Yes.
Can you cook? What do you like?
You lived in New York. We have some of the best Italian restaurants in the world in New York.
It's true. It's true. I miss New York City. I lived in New York for 11 years. I miss the restaurant.
You cook. I heard you say that you cook.
I cook every Saturday. I mean, Darlene, I am a singer, but I love to cook. You know, I'm from an Italian family. Grandmother, my mother, they all cook. So I've learned how to cook. So on Saturday, just to cheer up people, just like you do, I started to teach them what I can cook. And I would say, if I can cook, everybody can cook.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. So anytime, I mean, when you have nothing to do, I know you watch on Saturday and you can learn. If you cook something, Darlene, you have to take a picture of you cooking. Do you cook, by the way? Who is the chef in the family?
I will be watching you.
That will be an honor. Who is the chef in your family, you or your husband?
Well, you know what? It's a wonderful thing. Both of us can cook. When I got him, I was like, yes. Because being an entertainer, you know, you get tired. You don't want to, you know. But my husband can find, I used to say, it's nothing here to cook. And he would go in that refrigerator. My husband is Jamaican.
Oh, la la.
At kitchen, and he'd come back out with a full meal. And I go, where'd you get all this from? It was in the refrigerator.
You said that is like Italian. My husband, JJ, always say, where did you find this? I said, of course, I have some tomatoes. I know I had something frozen, and then I made a meal. It's l'arte dell'improvvisazione.
I love to cook, too. When I had time, I fix a mean ham. Oh, man, I can fix what they call a lemon cake. And Thanksgiving dinner, I mean, my house is full on Thanksgiving because everybody wants my food.
Nice to know. Maybe one day we're going to be cooking together in Italy. How about it? Or better, better, darling, we go to the best restaurant, we sit and we get served.
Okay.
I have another question. During this COVID-19, of course, even Darlene Love, ladies and gentlemen, she's at home, no work, nothing to do. Nevertheless, you go live on your channel, and you have done a lot of this benefit for children. You make me laugh before children, dogs, and you are helping everybody.
Funny. I have to remember that.
Darlene told me that when we were trying the camera. She said, "Oh, I've been doing stuff for everybody." So, and you have done also some very nice for children, right? There in New Jersey.
I love, in New Jersey, they have an organization called Little Kids Rock. And what we do, we have one huge benefit for them every year. And what we do, we raise millions of dollars to buy instruments for the kids, brand new instruments. They play the music, they have music appreciation, is to keep the music in the schools. And one year I actually went to one of the schools that we gave all the musical instruments to them Number one, they were shocked because they didn't know I was coming. And then I opened up this big box and all these gifts were in it. Guitars, electric piano, and brand new toys. And they have special teachers that teach them. So, this year, I actually sung with them via Zoom.
Zoom.
We did our benefit on Zoom this year, and the kids actually played and sang with me, Lean on Me, the song. So that was a lot of fun. I love the kids. I love kids. I like to get them before they get crazy.
Right, when they're kids, we still can model them somehow, right? When they're kids, and then they lose the shape.
Yes. A lot of work we've been doing for Music Care because there's so many entertainers out of work. There's a guy, his name is Mark Shaman. He's a great musician. He did Hairspray. Okay. He was the writer and he did all the music for Hairspray. And they took 100 singers and had them to make their own videos at home with the song that ends the show, You Can't Stop the Beat. And they put it together, and it's still selling today. They had over 1 million hits, and people are still giving money to the organization. So those things like that, when it goes out and when it does wonderful, because we as entertainers, we've been down. We know, how it feels, and this pandemic is something you can't do anything about it. And nobody's really working, especially entertainers, and I really do believe that's going to be the last thing they open. Yeah. Like Broadway or movies, or, they're trying to do movies now, but I don't want to be in a room with 3,000 people.
Right. Unless it's a movie, you can do it with your mask.
Right.
Yeah. Oy, oy, oy. Darlene, can people see all these things you've been mentioning and can donate still?
Yes. It's still, you can go to my Facebook page. It's darlenelove.com. You can go to my Instagram, Darlene Love Sings. And all of those videos that we did over the last 8 months are still on there, and you can go to them and you can still donate, which is wonderful. I don't think they ever take it down because they need that money all the time. It's so many people that they've helped with rent, with food, with paying their bills, so they're all worthy causes.
Yeah. Somebody just said, Darlene, you've got a nice heart. And I think all the comments and the pouring of love that you see on my chat, guys, I know you all love Darlene. I will read all the comments, and if it's something that you have a question for Darlene, I tag Darlene, and I will make sure that you, Darlene, can see. Darlene, time flew so fast with you. I could talk with you for the rest of my life, actually, because you're such a joy to be around. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the music, for yourself. And I leave you with one question. With your amazing talent, is there anybody in your family that will bring the torch to the future? Do you have any one of your children can kids somebody with your talent, your voice?
My children can sing. They play instruments. The only thing, they grew up with me, so they know how hard it is. Say, no, Mom, we'll watch you. We do. But I have a sister who was actually with a hit group called The Honeycomb. It was a song called Want Ads. My sister was in that group for a while, and then she finally said, okay, I'm tired of this. This is way too hard. That's what I'm saying. It's not one of the easiest business. You have to give up a lot to be in this business.
It's true. But don't do it unless you love it. Yeah, it's true.
Las Vegas is the place. I was blessed to be able to work the first 10 years of my career in Las Vegas, like with Dion, with Tom Jones, with Elvis. And I could take the kids with me because we were there for about a month and a half, So even with that, it was really great. But it's a tough business, folks.
It's a tough business, but thank God Darlene Love decided to go into this business because, Darlene, we love you. The name Love they give you, it's perfect for you. I call my fans the circle of love.
Oh,
so
wow.
you see, You're gonna be so the Circle of Love now has also welcomed Darlene Love, and she's love. So Darlene, this is sign language. We do sign language, Darlene, because some people are deaf. So this is the sign language for I love you. I really do love you. I hope that I'm gonna have more chance to see you perform, talk, do whatever things you wanna do, and I cannot wait to see you here in Vegas. And hopefully, why not? Let's put it in. I put it in my dream. I wanna go to Italy with Darlene Love and show her
Yes.
Venice. There we go.
Yes. Thank you so much. This was wonderful.
I
God
love
bless
you. God bless you always with the best that God has to give. And I hope to see you soon. And we will be watching you on all your pages. Thank you, Darlene. We love
Thank
you.
Bye-bye. Mwah.
Mwah. Darlene Love. Love. I think she should be called just Love. She is love. So guys, I see a lot of your comments. I'm gonna read them all. I see a pouring of love today. I want to thank really Darlene. What a nice lady she is, right? The more famous they are, the more talented they are, the more amazing people they are. Well, I know you, Doug, were very happy to have her today here with us. Let me see if I can find now my birthday and events of the day. By the way, for all the new people that are watching, this is Giada Valenti from Las Vegas. I'm a singer and songwriter born and raised in Venice, Italy. Going live for more than 100 days here in Las Vegas. Tuesday is a special day with a guest interview. But beside the guest interview, we also do always every day, actually, we go live. We do birthday and events in history. Thanks to Doug Artling for the last week. This is the last week that Doug is going to be helping me with birthday and events. So thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. But of course, he's going to be and stay part of the Circle of Love, of course, for love. So guys, are you ready after this amazing interview for the birthday and event in history? August 25th, 5 days, the end of the month. So first, a few memorable mention of yesterday, August 24, we went on live. In 79 AD, in Italian history, we love Italian history, the Mount Vesuvius erupts, burying Roman Pompeii and Herculaneum. It is hard to imagine that it released more energy than 100,000 atomic bombs, a volcano. It's still active, by the way. Pompeii is now a touristic place, and Doug is just saying it's also a World Heritage place, and there he is. It's beautiful to visit, even though it's very sad, but I like it. I've been there. You should go when you are in Italy. And in 1456, the printing of the first book is completed, the Gutenberg Bible. There are only 49 copies known to exist. Beautiful book. And in 1891, Thomas Edison patents his motion pictures camera. Is one of the inventions that changed the world. For surely did, Doug. Can you imagine if he did not invent the camera? We would have probably not even have these conversations today altogether. Now, back to today, August 25th, 1825, because we have a Circle of Love members also in Uruguay. Today, they celebrate in Uruguay the independence of the Independence Day. Independence from Brazil. So happy Independence Day to all Uruguayan friends watching. Alejandra, one of them. And in 1916, the National Park Service of the United States is established by Congress by the National Park Service Organic Act, and to protect the area designated as national parks and National Register of Historic Places. You see there the Great Smoky Mountains. Doug was asking me, can you guess which one is the park with the most visit? I thought the Grand Canyon. No, actually is that one. Does Doug say how many people is visiting every year? Doug didn't say. And in 1919, the first scheduled passenger service by airplane begins and is run by AT&T, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, the phone company. It launched not far from where London Heathrow is today and landed in La Bourget in France. He had a choice of 2-seaters or 4-seater planes. None of two would have worked for me. I need a 4,000 seats plane. The bigger the plane, savior it is for me. I don't know. It's my idea. And in 1929, San Francisco witnessed a never-seen-before sight. The Graf Zeppelin floated above the city, having completed a trans-Pacific flight all the way from Japan. That picture is flying over the Sustro Bath, Doug is saying. By the way, the Cliff's House, as it's called, is still there. It's one of our favorite restaurants in San Francisco. We should go to San Francisco, Doug, and you should take me there. And in 1958, in the world of food, the Mofofuku Ando Markets, look at that, is the first package of pre-cooked instant noodles ramen, a staple for college kids around the world. Not in Italy, Doug. I think I had the first one when I moved to New York City. in 2006. We don't have it in Italy, but I like it actually. And in 1917, can you believe it's today, marks Elton John's first United States appearances there at the Troubadour. Of course, he didn't know he would have become a superstar that he is right now. Incidentally, Doug is saying the Troubadour, that place, is still in financial trouble and may not open after COVID-19, which is tragic. And in 1989, after 12 years, 4 billion miles journey, Voyager 2 flies over the cloud tops of Neptune and its moon Triton, sending back photographs of swamps and giving us our first close-up of its strange new world. Look at that blue planet. It's unreal. And today in 2006, very recently, Hyperion, the world's tallest living tree, I think we talked about it, in Redwood, standing at almost 160 meters, which is 379 feet, is discovered by naturalist Chris Atkins and Michael Taylor in Redwood National Parks in California. We talked about it a few weeks ago. Birthday of today, honorable mention of yesterday, actually, to 1912. We have to mention Gene Kelly. Is born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is my second favorite dancer all the time behind Fred Astaire, and I've watched his film all over and over again, and we see there Doug and Susie trying to replicate their dance. Good job, Doug and Susie. And in 1931, also yesterday, Barbara Eden, actress, singer, and dancer, as well favorite Genie in a Bottle, was born in Tucson, Arizona, and turns 89 years old, believe it. Having met her, I can say she exudes elegance and is rarely seen anymore today. I totally agree with you. Look how beautiful. Is that 89 years old? Amazing. Honorable mention also from yesterday. So that was for Sunday, sorry. And from yesterday, Marilee Martlin was born in Morton Grove, Illinois, and turns 55 today. There she is. Marilee, of course, she's been deaf since she was 18 months, but she ended up acting in the movie in 1986, Children of a Lesser God, and even won an Oscar. And even she danced in Dancing with the Stars. She's remarkable indeed. So we come to today's birthday. The two kings were born today. Ludwig I, King of Bavaria, was born in Strasbourg. At the same time, at the time was Kingdom of France. Look at them. And the second is Ludwig II, also called Mad King, of also fairy tale king. Was born in Nymphenburg Palace, Munich, in Germany. The second one, Ludwig Mad King, also called the Fairy Tale King, created this beautiful castle, the Neuschwanstein, if you want to pronounce it. Look at that picture. Doug said that he's never been in that place. His family actually was born not far from there before they moved to the United States, and he wanted to go, and the trip got canceled to COVID-19. So, Doug, let's go next year. Shall we go? That castle looks unreal. I want to see and make sure it's real. And in 1796, today, James Lick, American land baron, is born in California, in Stumptown, Pennsylvania. No, actually, he's the baron in California, but was born in Stumptown, Pennsylvania. Look at it now. At the time of his death, he was one of the richest men in the world, and he owns actually this amazing place, Catalina Island. I want to go there. I didn't even know it was existing. And Doug said he feels connected to him because the Lick Observatory is being donated to the University of California, where Doug actually was a teacher. And he said that his body rested to the body of Mr. Lick is rest to peace not far from there. And the only thing he requested when he donated to the observatory was that they would put fresh flowers every week on his grave. And look at that, they still do. And in 1909, today, Ruby Killer was born in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Those that love old movie and musical, me too. We know for starring in many Warner Bros. Early musical in the 30s, and was married to singer Al Johnson, there in the picture with her. Dougie said, I loved her films, and I was so happy when she made a comeback on Broadway. I found out Doug was the musical Nono Nanette in 1970, and look at her. A little bit older lady still dancing. Amazing. Happy birthday to her. 1916, Van Johnson, another favorite actor of Doug, and also mine actually, was a major MGM star, is born in Newport, Rhode Island. Yeah, where Sandra and Randolph are watching from. A wonderful actor, television, theater, films, and radio. He sang and danced through many musicals with people like Judy Garland and Gene Kelly. A little trivia about him. He always wore red socks. There is apparently a pair of them, I found out, Doug, on the National Museum of American History. They're not on display right now, but they are there. And in 1917, Mel Ferreira, an American actor, producer, and director, is born in Elberon, Elberon, New Jersey. Dougie said, I confess I was always jealous of him. Why? Because he married my favorite actors. He said, Audrey Hepburn. To make you feel good, Doug, he was married actually 5 times. Audrey was only number 4, so she divorced him. And he had a total of 6 kids, one of them with Audrey Hepburn. He was very busy. 1918, Leonard Bernstein, American conductor, composer, pianist, music educator, author, and long-life humanitarian. In short, he did everything. Was born today in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Is best known for his work on Broadway for what became one of our favorite movies, West Side Story. And 1930, my favorite actor, Sir Sean Connery, Scottish actor and producer, is born in Edinburgh, Scotland. Look at him. While he starred in many movies, indeed, we all remember him as James Bond. And go back to the picture, JJ, because his good look at every age seems to defy aging, and think the actress Goldie Hawn summed it best when she said, and I agree with her, he may be 100 years old, but he's still a stud. Look at him. Handsome then and now. And in 1931, Regis Philbin, we said goodbye to him a few weeks ago, was born today in the Bronx, New York. This is me and Regis Philbin. Remember, we dance and sing together. Unbelievable man. And today, going back last couple of birthdays of today, 1968, Rachel Ray. She's born in Glen Falls, New York. Of course, celebrity chef, and turns today 52. Fun fact, her career starts in the food industry as a waitress at the Howard Johnson chain. And Doug said, every time I think about the chains, I have nightmares, because Doug was vacationing in Florida. He said he eat there and he got very sick. Doug, good news for you. All those chains were closed. The last one closed in 2017. Actually, the last 2 closed was the one in, what was it called, Lake George, where she worked actually. And she was not serving you, I guess, when you were there, because she would have been very young, just like Doug said. And last birthday of today, 1987, Blake Lively, American actress. She's born in Los Angeles, California, and turns 33 today. I agree with you. She's a beautiful actress. And Doug said, this is the picture I chose for you. He said, because every time I look at the picture, Doug feels like she's saying to the husband, of course, to Ryan, oh, Ryan, you always crack me up when you dressed up like Doug, LOL. And it's true, ladies and gentlemen, because I found this morning a picture, actually, of the first time I met Doug in Sacramento in 2017. He came without Susie, because Susie was in Hawaii, because she has a family emergency. I met Doug, and look how Doug was dressed up. JJ, look at that. Can you see? Doug, me and Doug at the crest. Do you remember, Doug? I found it this morning while I was looking for other pictures, me and you, and it's true. So, Doug, thank you for all you've been doing. We're trying to have Doug appearing here on the Giada Live. He still has problem with Skype, like we had almost this morning with Darlene Love, but we were able to find a solution. So, Doug, let me work on that, so see if you can come and appear for us to say we want to thank you and applaud you. For all of you guys that have been with me today, thank you so very much. I've seen so many familiar faces, so many new people. Thank you for being with me. Please keep liking my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means a lot to me. For one of you that were new watching, I'm Giada Valenti, born and raised in Venice, Italy. I am a singer and a songwriter with passion for cooking, interviewing, talking, and cheering up people. And it's been a pleasure to be with all of you today. I'm looking forward to see you on Thursday. Thursday, as you see, is going to be Italian culture and lifestyle, together with my dear friends of the Italian Living. So we will be traveling to Italy. Last week, I have took you to the seas of Italy. We saw all the seas going around Italy. This week, we have a surprise for you. We will be talking wine. We will be talking Italy. We will be traveling there. And what's more, we're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you very much, guys, for being with me. Thank you to my guest, the one and only Darlene Love. I'm going to see you on Thursday. Guys, I do love you. Circle of love. Thank you to Diane and Sal and everybody, Joyce. I see all of you, and all the new one. Guys, I love you, and I'm going to see you Thursday.
Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart I smile again. And so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place, and I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, 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 dear old Auf Wiedersehen. See you tomorrow. A domani.